Hi, welcome to Story Time with Gigi. I'm so glad you're here today. Today's story is for my friend Matt. He is a funny guy and he likes to jump on the bed. And this is No More Jumping on the Bed by Ted Arnold. In his room near the top floor of a tall apartment building, Walter was getting ready for bed. His father said, "If I told you once, I've told you a million times. No jumping on the bed. One day it's going to crash right through the floor. Now lay down and go to sleep." Walter plopped down on his pillow and squeezed his eyes closed. "Good night," said his father. He turned off the light and pulled the door almost shut. The room was dark and quiet, except for a soft thump, 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 coming from the room above. "That's Dilbert's upstairs," thought Walter. He switched on his lamp. If Dilbert can jump on his bed, so can I. Walter jumped higher and higher until his hair brushed the ceiling. When he landed, the mattress creaked, the floor cracked, and his whole bed tipped up sideways. Then down through the floor went Walter, bed and all. Oh no! Walter's bedroom was directly above Miss Hattie's dining room. She was quite surprised when Walter landed in her spaghetti and meatballs. "I was not expecting company for dinner," she mumbled, with a mouthful of meatballs. Said Walter. "Spaghetti is my favorite." But he didn't have a chance to eat. His bed smashed through the table and kept right on crashing down through the floor. Down and down fell Walter, Miss Hattie, with the spaghetti, the bed, and all. Mr. Matty didn't even notice a bed coming through the ceiling until a meatball bounced off his head. Miss Hattie landed in his lap and Walter splashed into his aquarium. "I already had one bath tonight," said Walter. He wanted to watch the monsters on TV, but his bed crunched through the floor and took the TV with it. Down and down fell Walter's, Miss Hattie, Mr. Matty, the TV, the spaghetti, the bed, and all. Oh my goodness, there they go. Walter's Aunt Betty had just moved in. She was still unpacking when Miss Hattie, Mr. Matty, and a dripping wet Walter tumbled through their ceiling into a box with her stamp collection. Walter burst through the bottom of the box and down through the floor. Aunt Betty soon followed. Down and down fell Walter, Miss Hattie, Mr. Matty, Aunt Betty, the stamps, the TV, the spaghetti, the bed, and all. Patty and Natty had worked for days building a house of blocks. Afraid that Fatty Cat might knock it over, they shooed her out. Then the upstairs neighbor came through the ceiling. "Excuse us," said Walter. "We won't be staying long." Then his bed crashed through the floor. Down and down fell Walter, Miss Hattie, Mr. Matty, Aunt Betty, Patty, Natty, Fatty Cat, the blocks, the stamps, the TV, the spaghetti, the bed, and all. The last thing Mr. Harnatti expected to see was a bed coming through his studio ceiling, followed by nearly everyone in the building. "If I knew you wanted to see my paintings," he said, "I would have tidied up a bit." There they go. Then his floor caved in and everyone followed Walter's bed down through the hole. Down and down fell Walter, Miss Hattie, Mr. Matty, Aunt Batty, Patty, Natty, Fatty Cat, Mr. Harnatty's cans of paint, the blocks, the stamps, the TV, the spaghetti, the bed, and all. Maestro Ferlinghetti and string quartet were astonished by the colorful crowd that dropped in unannounced. "I love an audience," he said. But when paint splattered everywhere, the maestro wished his audience would leave, and they did, taking his string quartet with them. The maestro's floor was also the basement ceiling. It was dark as midnight down there. Walter squeezed his eyes closed and fell through the darkness until he landed on something soft. He opened his eyes. Everything was in its place, and outside the door, his mother and father were talking quietly. "Whew! No more jumping on the bed for me," said Walter, as he lay back down to sleep. Suddenly he heard a crack. The ceiling cracked, and down came Dilbert, bed and all. Down and down fell Dilbert. Oh my goodness! Do you jump on the bed? Do you remember the song, "No More Monkeys Jumping on the Bed"? I used to sing that to my kids all the time. Tell me if you ever sing that song in the comments below. And also tell me what story you want me to read here at Story Time with Gigi. And make sure you subscribe so you never miss a story time. And until next time, as my friend Les Brown would say, shoot for the moon, because if you miss, you might just land amongst the stars. Bye!